Hello and welcome to Code FP Academy. And we are still on the foundations of generative AI. In this lesson, we are going to look at how generative AI works. At the end of this lesson, you should be able to understand and explain how generative AI systems are trained, describe the role of data in generative AI, explain what a model is in simple terms, understand what prompts are and why they matter, and identify the strengths and limitations of generative AI systems. Now let's look at the role of data in generative AI. Generative AI learns from large amounts of data. And these data can include books, articles, images, audio recordings, websites, and so on. So, in simple analogy, when a human wants to learn, we read books, we listen to podcast, or we get exposed to some stuff, and we through this stuff we're able to gain some knowledge and understanding of what we want to learn. So humans learn how sentences work and kind of that. For AI, it processes huge amounts of text and it learns how words usually appear together. Thus, it learns patterns from examples. What is a model? The model is the trained brain of the AI. So now let me break it down so that we can understand it. So let's take the AI as the human. The model is the brain of the human. So when you train the brain of the human or the AI, that is what we term as the model. The model is created after training on data. It stores patterns and relationship. And one thing we should know is that it does not store information like a database. So the model is like a student who has studied books. That is, these books refer to the data that the model was trained on. The student or model remembers patterns, not the exact pages. In simple terms, most of us know about chew and pour. Maybe a night before an exam, you have a large volume of material that you need to go through before you take the exam. So you quickly skim through them, and during the exam, when the question drops, you try to remember the pattern so that you can produce an answer. So that's how the model works. Okay, so let's look at the training phase and versus using the model. So during the training phase, large data sets are used. And one thing you should know is that the training phase happens before users interact with the AI. And the AI learns patterns and relationships during the training phase. In the usage phase, the model is already trained. Users interact by typing prompts, and the AI generates responses based on learned patterns. And one thing we should know is that during the training phase, during the usage phase, the users are not training the model during that time. That's what we should know. Users are not training the model during the usage phase or during normal use. So let's look at the prompt. The prompt is the input or instruction you give to the AI. Prompts can be questions, commands, descriptions, examples, and so on. And one thing we should know is that the clearer the prompt, the better the output. And some examples of prompt that we can quickly pause this video and type into any of these AI models that we have, either ChatGPT, Google Gemini, Claude, Grok, Copilot, and the likes, DeepSeek, can type these prompts and see the output that we get. An example is write a professional email, create an image of a modern office, explain photosynthesis in simple terms. You can revisit a previous lesson to see the example prompt that we used. And if you want more knowledge on this, you can enroll in the prompt engineering course by ChatGPT. Prompt engineering with ChatGPT course and gain a lot of understanding on this. Now let's look at how AI generates responses based on the prompt that they get. So the generative AI model or the generative AI predicts what comes next based on probability. We talked about it, that's the pattern. So if start a sentence, an example is the capital of Ghana. You know the capital of Ghana is Accra. So the most likely word that's supposed to come after the capital of Ghana is Accra. So the capital of Ghana, the AI will complete it with Accra. You cannot be like the capital of Ghana is to give you Accra. Sometimes on our phones we have these chatbots that are embedded, and when you are typing a sentence or a word, there are auto suggestions and auto corrects features. So these are all based on the patterns that the AI was trained on. That's the data the AI was trained on, and it predicts these words based on probability. So one thing you should know is that AI does not know facts the way human do. It predicts or it makes its predictions based on the patterns. Can an output from AI be wrong? Yes. This is because AI can generate outdated information. This is based on the data that the AI has trained. It may sound confident or it can sound confident but be incorrect. You understand? And it can mix facts with assumptions. AI predicts language, does not know the entire truth. Predicts based on the data that it has been trained on. That's not the truth entirely. That is why after getting an output AI, human is supposed to verify and see if the output it got or he or she got is accurate. Now let's quickly glance through the strength of generative AI. Generative AI generates content quickly, handles repetitive tasks, generates ideas, and works across networks. And some limitations include and reflects bias in training data, cannot replace human judgment, and AI cannot truly understand meaning. Let's note AI is an assistant and it shouldn't be used as a decision. So that brings us to the end of this lesson. And today we've known that AI learns from data. The model stores patterns, not facts. Prompts guide the AI of what to do or the output that it's supposed to give out. AI predicts the next best output, and human review is always essential. Thank you and see you in the next one.